E3 2019 is over, and it was definitely the year of the JRPG. Pretty much any of your favorite franchises got a brand new game, a remaster, or something else to look forward to. Although Sony wasn't there, it really didn't matter. Most of the games that were typically at their conference were somewhere else, and I couldn't have been more excited about this year. The more I was looking at the announcements, the more I thought to myself, it's probably hard to really keep track of all the release dates, all the new announcements, so I figured let's put them all in one big video. So this is the E3 2019 JRPGs in a nutshell. Of course, the star of the show was Final Fantasy VII Remake. There were tons of announcements, tons of new footage, and a lot to talk about, so let's dive into that first. Of course, the biggest announcement was that it finally has a release date of March 3rd, 2020. I honestly can't believe it's coming that soon. It seems like it was announced forever ago, and it's right around the corner, and I can't wait. We also got the reveal of Tifa, and she looks good. All her combat animations look so badass. She looks like so much fun to play, and honestly, as soon as she joins the party, I'm never switching her out. We got more footage of Midgar, different mechanics, including how we can slow down and use the different menu options, and there's sort of a turn-based aspect with the ATB bar. But honestly, there were a lot more concerns that came out of this E3 for Final Fantasy VII Remake. First of all, our greatest fear that this would only take place in Midgar for part 1 came to be true, which really blows my mind. And the other thing that really blows my mind is that it's taking place over 2 Blu-ray discs, and I think the only game that's done that so far has been Red Dead Redemption 2. And the other question that a lot of people were asking was, how many games are going to be in this if the first game is only in Midgar? Well, when Kotaku asked Yoshinori Kitase, the producer for the game, he said that they don't know because it hasn't been decided yet. That's a little bit worrying, but the game looks absolutely amazing so far, so whatever they plan to do with it, I trust them. I can't wait for March. Bandai Namco announced the next in the Tales of series, Tales of Arise. Now, this was leaked a few days ahead of Microsoft's conference, but nonetheless, the game looks incredible. It's on a brand new engine, Unreal 4. The lighting looks absolutely amazing. Combat looks really cool. The world is stunning, much bigger environments, much bigger cities, and really this is the shot in the arm that the Tales series needed. And frankly, it's needed it for a while now, so I'm really glad they took the time to do it right. It looks incredible, and it's coming out next year, so I'm really looking forward to that. Another game from Bandai Namco that I feel like was a long time coming, and maybe a little late, but better late than never, that was Ni no Kuni Remastered. It's coming to PC, PS4, and Nintendo Switch is getting essentially the PS3 version. It's only running at 720p and 30 frames per second, but nonetheless, I'm really excited that a whole new audience of players gets to experience this game for the first time, or maybe re-experience it if it's been a long time since you played the PS3 version. This is honestly one of my favorite games of all time, and I can't wait. It's coming this September 20th, and it's simply going to be incredible. I cannot wait. Next, Bandai Namco finally put a name to that Dragon Ball Z action RPG project, and they're calling it Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and yeah, it sure is a game. SEGA unveiled that they will be bringing Phantasy Star 2 online to the West via Xbox One in spring 2020. And of all the things announced, this was probably my biggest reaction of the entire E3. Now, I will admit, I'm not exactly the biggest Phantasy Star fan. In fact, I've never played any of the games, but the fact that it is finally coming over really means anything is possible. If we can get Shenmue 3, if we can get Phantasy Star Online 2 to come to the West, anything is possible. Next, we got a Trials of Mana remake announcement. Now, this is the third in the Mana series, a game that we never got in the West, and it really looks absolutely stunning. It's kind of got this pastel art style, really cool looking action RPG combat, and lots of different characters to play as. And while I've never heard of this game, I'm really excited. This jumped way up my charts for my most anticipated games. And speaking of the Mana games, during the Nintendo Direct, Square Enix shadow dropped the Collection of Mana, which is Final Fantasy Adventure from the Game Boy, The Secret of Mana, and the original Trials of Mana, which again, we never got. So if you're interested in that game, it's available right now on Nintendo Switch. And if you want a physical copy, that'll be out later this year on August 27th. One series that had a huge showing at E3 this year was Dragon Quest, and there was a lot going on. First, Dragon Quest Builders 2 is of course coming July 12th, and it continues to look awesome. Online co-op, hang gliders, swimming, farming, building. It looks amazing, and to be totally honest, I am probably not going to see the sun for a few days after that game comes out. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. Dragon Quest XI for Nintendo Switch got a release date for September 27th. It's going to have the new kind of pixelated Super Nintendo look, some new content, but most importantly for a lot of people, that orchestrated soundtrack. So If you've never played this game before, this is probably the best version to play. It looks incredible, it plays incredible, and it's one of my favorite RPGs of all time. And lastly, but certainly not least, the hero of Dragon Quest got announced for Smash Bros. Ultimate. And it's not just one, but it's kind of a palette swap between the heroes from Dragon Quest 3, 4, 8, and 11. And on top of that, their final Smash incorporates a ton of different characters from the Dragon Quest series into one super awesome attack. So if you're a Dragon Quest fan, I feel like you were fully satisfied this E3 because there was a lot of cool announcements. Kingdom Hearts 3 is getting DLC called Remind, and it really just looks like kind of the last battle of the game, but you get to play as different characters, and there's a few more story pieces with some of the Organization 13 members. Frankly, I don't know what's going on, and I'm just kind of done with this game. I will be begging Square until my dying day for another Final Fantasy Tactics game, and we'll probably never get it, but the next closest thing was a game that they announced at their press conference, War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave EXVIUS, and yes, it is for mobile, but still, it looks really cool. Turn-based strategy game, lots of different factions, the art style looks really, really neat. Is it going to be gacha garbage? Is it going to be actually cool? Time will tell, but I will certainly be doing a video on that whenever it comes out. This next game we thought was lost to the ages. It got deleted off a computer. An intern lost it. Whatever may have happened, we thought we would never get this game, but finally, rising from the ashes, like a burning phoenix, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered will be coming to consoles later this year. Frankly, I think people have been particularly hard on this game for whatever reason, I don't know why, but in my opinion, it has the best soundtrack of any Final Fantasy game, and I think if you really take some perspective, I think it's got a really cool story and some cool characters. I have not played Final Fantasy VIII in a really long time, so I'm looking forward to replaying this remastered version with a fresh coat of paint and maybe a few enhancements. Square also touched on Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles HD, which is coming this winter. No final release date, but it's coming. They also shadow dropped The Last Remnant on Nintendo Switch, very cool if you're interested in that. And they also mentioned Romancing Saga 3 and Saga Scarlet Grace Ambitions would be coming soon. This could be just me, but I thought those games released already, maybe on Vita or on some other platform, but nonetheless, they showed them again and they're coming soon. NIS America also announced DISGAEA 4 Plus Complete coming to PS4 and Switch later this fall. Real quick, I want to run through a couple of games that got release dates. The action RPG from Tokyo RPG Factory, Ononaki, will be releasing August 22nd. The next entry in the Trails series, The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel, will be releasing September 24th. Bandai Namco's Code Vein is finally releasing September 27th. And the latest entry in the Pokemon franchise, Pokemon Sword and Shield, will be releasing November 15th. Before I end this video, I want to talk about a couple games that were missing in action. Games that I thought might have been at the show, should have been at the show, but for whatever reason, were not. The first of these games is Town from Game Freak. This was announced at a Nintendo Direct last September, and it was a cool looking game where you're a villager in this small town and you're protecting it against these monsters. They didn't really share much more details than that, but it looked really, really cool, and I was looking forward to it. It was supposed to release this year, but it was nowhere to be seen at Nintendo's Direct, nor at its Treehouse presentation, so it must need more time in the cooker. Another game that was announced a long time ago and we still haven't even seen gameplay for is Shin Megami Tensei 5 for Nintendo Switch. Now traditionally this is much more of a game geared towards the Japanese audience and it probably gets revealed somewhere around TGS or its own event, but I thought for sure it had been so long since it originally got revealed that they would show it at the Nintendo Direct, but again, nowhere to be seen and we're gonna have to wait a little while longer for this one. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim from Vanillaware and Atlas has been a long dormant game. Yes, it had a prologue released earlier this year in Japan, but as far as the West is concerned and when the full game is releasing, we have no idea. It was nowhere to be seen at E3, no trailer, no news, no update, really nothing. And I'm kind of growing a little bit concerned about this game, but it's a small studio, so maybe they just need time to really hone it in, so time will tell with this one. The next Sakura Wars game was announced to be coming out next fall, and I thought maybe there would be a small chance it would be at E3 this year, but again, because it's coming out next fall, they probably figured they could wait until next E3 to talk about it a little bit more, but nonetheless, it would have been cool to see it here. And lastly, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Now, I honestly didn't think this game was going to be at E3 since Cygames had recently taken over development from Platinum Games, but XE dropped a surprise announcement that they would be publishing Grand Blue Fantasy Versus in the West, and I figured, well, if that gets announced, maybe they'll also be publishing Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, but again, nowhere to be seen, no release date, no real development updates since Cygames took over from Platinum. Nonetheless, it's still being worked on, and however long it takes for them to finish that thing up, I can't wait, it looks incredible. So my friends, that is it for the JRPGs of E3 2019. It was an absolutely jam-packed year. So many games, so many things to play, so many things to look forward to. Frankly, I could not be any happier. Every type of JRPG that I could have possibly wanted, got new information, got announcements, are coming soon, have things to look forward to in the far future, and frankly, I'm just so happy. What JRPGs from E3 2019 are you most looking forward to? Let me know in the comments below, I can't wait to talk to you about it. And before I end this video, I want to give a huge thank you to you guys. I know I haven't been the most consistent posting videos, but it really means a lot that you guys tuned in and watched these new videos that I've been putting out, listening to the podcast that me and Nick have been doing, and just interacting with me on Twitter. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I really thank you. This is so much fun. I really love talking to you guys in the comments and on Twitter. So thank you for sticking around, and I look forward to chatting with you guys even more in the future. Thanks once again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oh, and also Breath of the Wild 2 got announced, I guess.